YouTube? What's going on? Appreciate y'all watching my videos. What's going on? Let's see. Matt Phillips. Jason. Matt Phillips say I emailed you. Yeah, man. My bad. I gotta check my email, man. Jarvis. What's going on? Tavon Walters. I can't pronounce your name, man. You always be on my videos, man. You say you making money, man, but you always on my videos, man. I appreciate you being on my videos. Let's see. Jarvis. Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all coming to hang out with me, man. Right now, I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Y'all like how I say that? Jarvis White Jr. say, should I stick with Old Dominion? It depends on what you're looking for, man. You know? Old Dominion is a good company, for what I understand. I've never been with them, but, you know, I know one or two guys who drive. I know my boy, I know a guy, he drives for Old Dominion. I don't know if he still drive for him or not, but he says all right. It's local, you know. You know, it's Monday through Friday, you know. It ain't no union like UPS or nothing, but it ain't no Teamsters or nothing. But I think starting out, they start you at about $22 an hour or some junk like that. Usually with companies like that, they're going to give you some goofy behind schedule. I used to drive local. I drove local for about 3 years or something like that. Usually when you get onto one of them local gigs, you might get lucky. But usually when you get on those local gigs, they give you some goofy behind schedule. You have to earn seniority to get a good schedule. You know what I mean? Like the 5 to 2 schedule, 5 to 3, Monday through Friday. You know what I mean? Get all the premium customers, and you know, that's pretty much what happened to me when I was on local. I was working. When I first started on local, they gave me this beat. They offered me like 2 or 3 different schedules. One schedule was Thursday, Friday, Thursday through Monday, 4 in the evening to like 3, 4 in the morning or something like that. 2, 3, 4 in the morning. You pretty much have no life with that schedule. You have no life with that schedule. So you're working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, which is like the worst times to work. You know, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is the worst time to work. 4, you start your day at 4 in the afternoon. Like that's a crappy. I don't mind working late, but like I would work Monday. I would rather work like Sunday through Thursday 4 in the evening. You know what I mean? So they had that schedule. They had another schedule. This is the schedule that I took. They had a schedule that started at 7. I think it was either 6 or 7. So the schedule went Thursday through Monday, 7 to like 4 or 5 or something like that. That's the schedule I was on. I ran that schedule for like a year. You pretty much got to be on that schedule for a year. And then once your seniority moves up or whatever, they'll give you another schedule. And then, you can get a 8 to 5 or something like that. Or, I hate 8 to 5s because you'll be going to work during rush hour. That you don't want that. I would usually shoot for like a 5 or 6 o'clock schedule or something like that. So that way you get up where there's no traffic on the road. And then when it's time for you to go home, you'll be going home just before rush hour starts. So you want to be going home like 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? You want to be on the road going home. You want to be pulling up in your driveway by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So, those early AM schedules, which is great. And then you still have some of your day left. You can go run some errands and get stuff done. But there's a caveat because you got to go home and go to bed so you can get back up. So you got to go to bed like 8 o'clock. Let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, you pretty much got to go to bed like 8, 9 o'clock. I mean, you got to be in the bed, like winding yourself down. You know what I mean? So driving local is cool, but it gets real boring and repetitive and monotonous. I don't know how people do it. I bump into guys. They're like, "Oh, I've been driving 30 years." Like, I don't know how they do it. I just don't know how they do it. But yeah, that's my take on local. Old Dominion, it depends on what you're looking for, man. It just depends on what you're looking for. So, like, my whole take on it is, I'm right now, I'm get rich or die trying. That's where I'm at right now. I really don't care. It's because I bump into people. It's like I try to stay away from people that's bringing a lot of fear around me. Like, I just try to stay away from them because it's going to get me off track. It's like, oh, this and that can happen. Oh, this and that. Oh, the truck might, yeah, okay, yeah, that's great. But right now, I'm on my get rich or die trying. That's where I'm at. Get rich or die trying. So I'm trying to live with no regrets. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard because as a man, I have to get out of my own way. You know what I'm saying? So I have to get out of my own way because, it's just, you have fears that get in the way of you accomplishing certain types of goals. But that's where I'm at. So get rich or die trying. That's where I'm at. When I go and I'm laying in my deathbed, well, I would lay in my deathbed satisfied, knowing that I tried. I can't fault myself for trying. You can't get mad at me because I tried. I gave it my all. You know what I mean? So that's just where I'm at. It's spiritual. It's spiritual stuff. But like, Old Dominion it's a good job. If that's what you're looking for. You go there, you do your job, and you do what you're told, and you got your managers and shit, and they do it. They tell you what to do, and you get your paycheck, and you retire, and that's it. And then you die. That's it. So That's what happens. Let me see what y'all talking about. Let's see. Oh, Dominion. I live in Spartanburg. You live in Spartanburg, South Carolina? You found somewhere to park out there? Yeah, I'm delivering to Costco. It's a Costco load. So, delivering this load to a Costco. And I got another load booked tomorrow. Gotta go and get that. And right now I'm looking for a load to do for Friday. Looking for a Friday load. I'm kind of looking for two loads at the same time. I'm looking for a Friday load and I'm looking for something to do on Monday. So, like Thursday and Friday, I try to already be booked on something Thursday and Friday, and like that Friday, I'm trying to piece together like either Friday, Saturday, depending on what I'm trying to run. So if I'm trying to run on a Saturday, well, you know, if I'm trying to go through the house, or if I got an appointment, like depending on where I'm at, like I try to run a triangle. I try to run a triangle or something like that. So I live in Atlanta, so depending on what I'm doing, I would go down, over, up, or over, down, over, then come up. You know what I'm saying? A box kind of situation or a triangle. It's not a perfect triangle, but when it comes to, it's like right now, I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, right? So tomorrow's going to be Thursday. I got something to run Thursday. So that's going to give me something to do for Thursday. So that load is going 300 miles, right? And it's going to position me. Atlanta is way over here, and it's going to take me to Norfolk. So Norfolk is right here, so I need something that goes down 85. Either I'm looking for something that's going to deliver on Monday, or something that delivers on Saturday, or something that delivers on Friday night. Or so like when I'm looking for loads, I'm checking these appointment times. So, you know, either something delivering on a Monday, maybe Monday afternoon, so I can get in the truck Monday morning, take the load and deliver it on Monday afternoon, or so that way I don't have to deal with a load on Monday. It sucks not having a load on Monday, because then you wasting a lot of time, and because if I'm already under a load, then I can just go, and then I don't have to worry about nothing. So that's kind of my routine when it comes to like a Friday or a Thursday. Like Thursday, I'm trying to find something to run Friday, Saturday, a possible Saturday, depending on how the loads look. If I find a load where I get the load Friday, and I'll be like, okay, if I go over here, I know they got loads in this area that takes me here. You know what I'm saying? It's like playing chess, man. You're playing chess. You gotta set yourself up, you know? So, as you know, hey, man, you got questions about Traveloco? They give you e-logs, permits, base plates, etc. Traveloco don't give you nothing. They don't give you nothing. Traveloco, they give you, as far as the carrier is concerned, I'm behind this Costco, so you got some guys over here delivering stuff. My appointment is not until tomorrow morning, so I just got to sit here. But you know, so that's the noise that y'all hearing. Traveloco, as far as the carrier is concerned, they're gonna give you the stuff that they're required to give you. They're gonna give you the permit book. They're gonna give you, you know, the carrier stuff, the authority insurance, the primary liability insurance, the cargo, your IFTA stickers, your KYU and all that stuff. They're going to give you that stuff. Anything that's dealing with the truck, they're not responsible for it, or they're not going to give it to you. Unless you get one of their lease trucks. Now, if you get one of Travel Local lease truck and trailers, then their truck and trailer is going to have their California plates on it. So you don't have to deal with that. But if you bring a truck from the outside, you got to get your own plates on the truck. So Travel Local don't supply you with anything. You got to get your own plates. I mean, tell you the truth, that's a question you should call Travel Local about, because they change stuff all the time, and I really don't. I really can't keep up with Travel Local. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to keep up with them because they always changing stuff. I don't own the company, so you're going to have to call Travel Local to tell you the truth. So there's an OD here in Tyler, Texas. Look at them, but went local with JB Hunt on a dedicated Target account. I don't think you should have did that, man. I mean, I know you make the best decision for your life, but I don't think you should have done that. I think you should have stuck. I can't pronounce your name. Spooby. Spooby. It's Spooby. Y'all be having some funny names. I would have stayed at Old Dominion. I wouldn't have dropped no Old Dominion job for a JB Hunt job to pull a Target dedicated, unless it pays very, very, very well. And here's why. Because like with dedicated accounts, I have a problem with dedicated accounts. Like these big mega carriers, when they get a dedicated account, somebody can come in and buy that account at any given time. They can lose that account at any given time. You have no idea on the business side what's going on with that account. If you can, try to keep a relationship with the account manager and ask him, make sure, keep your ears to the ground. So that way when the account comes up for bid and they lose the account, that way you'll know. Okay. So if you check with the account manager on the account, because usually when you're on a dedicated account, you usually park your truck at the customer. So if you on a dedicated account at Target, you usually park your truck at the distribution center. You park your car and your truck at the distribution center. So usually in the main office, the account managers and the transportation managers of an outside carrier work on the property at the distribution center, usually. So what I'm telling you is, I'm sure you go in there and you talk to them, you get your loads and, do your day stuff or whatever. I would try to keep your ears to the ground and make sure that if they're about to lose that account, it'll give you some time to, go out and find another gig. Cause I've been in some situations, man. I've been in 2 situations where I was on a dedicated account, and after about 6 months, they talking about, they gotta find somewhere to put you because the account, they lost the account. You know what I'm saying? That happened to me 2 times. It happened to me one time when I was with JB Hunt. I was on a Target account. I was on the Target dedicated account with JB Hunt, and they lost the account. So what they did was they put me on Intermodal, and that's how I got on it with Intermodal. That's how I started doing local. But I got lucky. I got damn lucky, because there are a lot of guys, they quit. And then some guys, they just found other jobs elsewhere. So, I mean, it's fine. We all got CDLs in our pocket. And we can pretty much, if you got a good, clean license, you can pretty much get a job anywhere. But when shit like that happens unexpectedly, nobody wants that stuff to happen unexpectedly. You know what I mean? And if you just coming to work every day doing what you're supposed to do, and you not paying attention to what's going on to the company that you work for, they can have some administrative stuff going on, some business stuff going on. You don't have no idea what's going on. And I would hate for you to show up to work one day and then they be like, oh yeah, we lost the account, so we're going to have to let you go, or we're going to have to find somewhere to put you, or they're going to have to put you on another account, or you're going to have to go over the road, or it's all kind of craziness that they have to do. So just an FYI, I think you should have stayed at Old Dominion. Like a company like Old Dominion, they are a local company. That's what they do. It's never going to change. So I think you would have, and I think the pay package is better at a LTL company like Old Dominion. So I would have stayed at Old Dominion. You get paid by the hour, so, so that's just, I'd rather get paid. If you're going to have a local job like that, it's just better to get paid by the hour, man. It's just better to get paid by the hour. So that's my opinion. My opinion. Your goal is alignment. My goal is alignment, Jarvis. I got hired by Snyder. Congratulations, man. You got hired by Snyder. Not quit. I'm just playing, man. You're going to like it, man. Snyder's a good company, man. I really don't have nothing bad to say about Snyder. Snyder's a good company. It's just, for me, man, I just felt stagnant. Spiritually, I just felt stagnated, and I just felt stagnant. I felt like somebody was choking me, spiritually. Somebody always bothering you about something, little petty stuff, like, oh, this and that. You mashing on your brake wrong. You doing this, and it just, I find myself spending a whole lot of time getting aggravated with little petty stuff than actually having fun, running the truck, making money, running a business, having fun doing that stuff, than actually like running loads and stuff. Like, so I spend more time like getting annoyed and aggravated. It's just, like I got somebody telling me how to run my truck. It just, you know what I mean? I mean, a lot of you guys that's already over there at Snyder, you probably don't understand what I'm talking about. You have to be there for a while. After about a year or two, you'll figure out what I'm talking about. 6 months, you're going to think it's, the first 2-3 months, you can feel like it's the best thing in the world. But once you get settled and get about a year in there, and you got to jump through all these hoops and do the hokey pokey, and, that's what I call it, the hokey pokey. They want you to go over here, go over here, go over here, go over here. Now turn yourself around, turn yourself around. It's just too much, man. Like, you start chasing empties all the time, loads canceling all the time. They never have no answer for you. Like, since I've been over here at Travel Local with my own truck and trailer, I don't have to worry about chasing the empty no more. I just don't deal with that stuff. Yeah, I do live loads on both sides, but I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all, because even doing live loads, like the live loads that I do, they're like 30 minutes to an hour. Every blue moon, I might hit a live load that takes a real long time. But for the most part, live loads are like 30 minutes to an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just better that way. Like with these mega carriers, it's best for them to do dropping hooks because they have capacity to do dropping hooks. But when you're a small carrier, your leverage is your live load trailer. When you got that trailer and it's your trailer, you have control. You got that freight back there. That's your freight. You have possession of the freight. No company can't tell you what to do with your trailer. It's your trailer. And they can't tell you, hey, da 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 da. Like when you pull in another carrier's trailer, they have the control because it's their load. You just a service provider. You just a middle guy. So it's great when a broker trying to stiff you on a load or a broker trying to stiff you on a rate. You can just say like, hey man, I'm gonna hold this load until we find come up with some kind of agreement. When you pull in another carrier's trailer, you can't do that, man. Traveloco can't tell me what to do with my trailer. Traveloco can't tell me what to do because this is my load. Okay? This is my load. So it's just different, man. Like when you pull in the load for like Snyder, and they always finding ways to threaten to pull your contract for whatever the case may be, man. I ain't with that. I'm a grown man. Like I'm not with that, man. You know, it just sucks. A load to cancel. Now loads don't cancel all the time, but when they cancel, it sucks, man. And then they tell you to do stuff that's ridiculous. Like they'll tell you to drop this trailer and deadhead 200 miles that way to get another trailer. Like that don't make no sense. It just doesn't make sense. But they can do that because you're leased to them. They tell you what to do. They expect you to just give away your time for free and not make no money. And when you got your own trailer, now you're the boss. You can approach a broker as a business because you have leverage. You got a truck and trailer. You can negotiate with the broker and say, hey, here's a load here going from here to here. This is my rate. If you don't like it, walk. You can just walk. If you don't like it, walk. You know what I mean? Like, there's lots of freight out here. Now, once you take possession of the load, right? You take possession of the load. That load is your load. You take possession of it. So, if the broker has some problem or issue with you pulling the load, it's your load. You know what I mean? You own that load. You know what I mean? So, there are pros and cons to that. You know, but I've been in situations where, like, you know, that Uber Freight load where they had to reschedule the appointment like 2 days out. I got paid for them 2 days. I got paid 2 days layover, right? So it's you know, and like I told him, I was like, look, if we can't come to an agreement on a price for some layover, I'm gonna push this freight out on the side of the road. I'm sorry. I can't do this with y'all. I can't. I'll sell the load to a Goodwill or something. You know what I mean? Like it don't, you know, I'll sell these bills to a freight forwarder somewhere. You can sell your bills. And see, when you have that kind of power, when you had a carrier at Snyder or something like that, you can't do stuff like that. You can't. You just can't. You know? You know, this is big boy trucking. You know what I mean? But that's little petty stuff. That's just me. But over time, that little stuff starts to bother you, man. That it annoys the hell out of you, man. You know. But that's just my opinion with Snyder. Let's see. Spiritual awareness. Jarvis says spiritual awareness. Enlightenment. Yeah, I know enlightenment, man. Enlightenment is you know, if you remember what's that novel that guy he writes short stories. What's his name? Shoot, I forgot his name, but he's one of those guys. He writes short stories. Mark Twain. I can go. It's a handful of guys, you know, like Mark Twain. These guys wrote these short stories, you know, like it was based on like this spiritual enlightenment, you know, back in, you know, the early days and stuff. So Uh, but yeah, Snyder's a good company, just not enough. You want pay rating? Oh, you talking about a company driver? Yeah. Snyder. If I was to go to Snyder, I would either do intermodal or a dedicated account. Intermodal first. Now, if you can't get on intermodal, I would get on a dedicated account. So that's just the bottom line. Depending on how they negotiate the account, your rate is based on, whatever they paying on that account. I bump into guys on different accounts, because when I was on the dedicated account, when I was at JB Hunt, I was making anywhere from 1,000 to 1,400 a week. And that's pretty much average when you're on a dedicated account. That over the road shit, you'll be pulling your hair out. You just be pulling your hair out. You just be frustrated all the time. When you're on a dedicated account and you pulling the same freight all the time, steady work, you see the same face all the time, you able to develop a relationship, you're pulling the same customer. That's what you want, man. You want a work environment that's fun and you know what I mean? You don't want a work environment that's just frustrating and it's just annoying. You don't want to do the job no more. So I recommend dedicated account or intermodal. Intermodal is number one. Intermodal trumps a lot of the mega carrier trucking jobs out here. Intermodal. I would do intermodal, or if they don't have any intermodal, I would do what's the name? Dedicated account. Don't pay enough. I started at Snyder OVR and it was paying 32 cents then. I think it went up to 38 cents now. 38 cents a mile. That ain't bad. I mean, you want to be making at least 40. Because 40 cents a mile, when you're making 30 cents a mile, you gotta run 3,000 miles a week. And I know these big mega carriers ain't giving guys 3,000 miles a week. When you running 30 cents a mile, 3,000 miles a week, that's like 900 a week. Hold on, 3,000 times 0.3. Yeah, that's 900 a week. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful on what jobs you get, because it's that's 900 a week. To run 3,000 miles in a week, that's very hard. I know a lot of guys be like, oh yeah, I run 5,000 miles a week. No, you don't. Your behind be dead. Your behind be dog tired running 4,000 miles a week. Look at what we're talking about. You run 4,000 miles in a week, divided by, it's 70 hours in 70 hours in a log book. And you're not going to run all 70 of those hours. You're probably going to run about 60, 62, 63. Because once you get up close to about 60 hours of running, your fleet manager going to shut you down. So once you get about 62, 63, 64, and you got like 4 or 5 hours left on your 70, your manager's going to be like, go ahead and take a 34. go take a 34. You know what I mean? So realistically, you can pretty much count on running 60 hours in a week. Most companies don't let you, except for local. When I drove local, I used to run 65, 60, 70, 80 hours. Not 80 hours, but 60, 67, 68 hours a week. Damn near 70. Almost. But realistically, you could probably run 60 hours in a week. Divide. You get paid to drive, so you're running 11 hours. So you pretty much running balls to the wall for 6 days. balls to the wall for 6 days. So 11 hours times 60. If your truck is running about 63 miles an hour, you're not going to be running 60. You can't average on a logbook 60 plus miles an hour. You're probably going to be averaging somewhere about 50, 55. But just say if you're averaging 60 miles an hour, you're running 660 miles per day, every day, which that's not realistic for you to run 660 miles every fucking day. That is a lot of driving, man. That is, you're running. No, you're not doing that. So realistically, you could probably count on running anywhere from about 2,200 to about 2,500 miles a week. That's a good, healthy amount of running. 2,500 miles a week is a good, healthy amount of running. You're running about 400 miles a day. That's a good, for the average person to be running 5, 6, 7, 8 days on a logbook. That's a healthy amount of running. That's about 7 to 8 hours a day. And that's more than enough work a person can handle without being so exhausted. I know I'm going to get some trucking Rambos that's going to come and be like, oh yeah, I'll run 15 hours a day for a month, 30 days straight. Sure you do. And you be dog tired afterwards. you drinking all them 5-hour energies and stuff. But yeah, man. So like when we talking about cents per mile, you want to be making more cents per mile so that you don't have to work less for your money. So just like with me, I got this truck and trailer. As an owner operator, most owner operators, they don't really work that much. So, it may seem like we work, but we don't really work that much. Like I say on a weekly basis, I probably do about 2,000 miles a week, maybe 2,200 miles a week. And I'm grossing $5K a week, 5 to 55K a week. And I probably take home after expenses anywhere from $2,000 to $2,500 a week. You know what I'm saying? So now some of that is like, you got to put back money for expenses and you got to pay taxes, but that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is that you want to work less and make more money. So you got to be careful with these cents per mile. You want to be making at least 40 cents. I say that's the minimum, 40 cents. Because then you can make 1,000 a week running 2,500 miles. You know what I'm saying? So you making 40, 42 cent, 43 cent a mile. You making 1,000 a week running 2,500 to 2,800 miles a week. And that's a decent amount of running. You can pick up a load, run it, deliver it, and every customer ain't perfect. I don't know how long a lot of y'all been in trucking long enough, but if you've been in trucking long enough, every day in trucking ain't perfect. You can't just pick up a load, run it, deliver it. Pick up a load, run it, deliver it. No, it's always some BS with these loads, right? You pick up a load, right? You get to the customer, you sit there for 5 hours, right? You only got a couple hours left to run the load. So now the next day you running balls to the wall trying to get the load ready, and then now you got another load, and it just, there's always some BS. You get a flat tire, or it's a long line in the fuel island, so you spent 2 hours to put some fuel in your truck, or it's an accident on the road, so the highway was backed up for 2 hours. It's always something. So in the real world, I would say you want to be able to count on running 2,500 miles a week. That's a good, healthy amount of running for the average truck driver out here. So, that's just my opinion. After been running for about 10, 11 years, there's a medium. Yeah, you can run 4,000 miles a week. Yeah, you can go do that. But you're going to be dog tired. Okay? Are you using load boards? Which one? I use a whole bunch of load boards. I got a bunch of videos talking about that. How long you stayed at Sniper before you? We're probably looking at about 2 years or something like that. Yeah, I was over there for a good 2 years or so. A little less than 2 years, maybe. Probably like 20 months, I guess. 20 months. Something like that. When do spark market rates go back up? Well, let me tell y'all something about spot market for rates. Like spot market, that's what spot market is. Like, spot market, that's what spot market is. It's like, spot market is like these little pockets of areas where rates are high in certain areas. So, I don't know how to answer that. That's, I don't know. I just go on the board and I try to just get the best rate I can get, So, usually, like, you can kind of predict rates on the board. So, like, for example, if there's a snowstorm or something, or there's a hurricane, or you can kind of, like I said in my last video, a couple videos back, if you pay attention to the freight, if you like kind of just pay attention to freight and the way that freight moves across the country, you can kind of predict that, okay, freight is going to be popping over here. Freight is going to be popping over here. No, freight is going to be dropping over here. Freight is going to be good over here. Freight going to be bad over there. You can kind of predict. For example, there's certain times of the month, certain times of the quarter that freight goes up and down. So it's like, okay, if you know that, okay, warehouses, shippers, and receivers, they do inventory at certain times of the month. They're doing accounting, and they're doing accounts payable certain time of the month, or accounts payable a certain time of the quarter. You know that, okay, freight is going to slow down during this time of the month. So I want to have my truck PM'd and ready for this time so I can take advantage of those, or if you know that, I'm trying to just come up with just all the scenarios in the economy, that all the forces in the economy that affect the flow of freight. You know what I mean? Valentine's Day, different holidays or seasons and whatnot. You can go on and on, the different things that affect the flow of freight. So, like, and for example, when it is a certain influx of freight, for example, like when the weather is bad, like say there's a snowstorm. Well, when there's a snowstorm, a lot of guys are going to be trying to stay south. So when a lot of guys are down in a certain area, it's going to put pressure on the rates. Rates are going to drop. So it's kind of like, you can kind of predict that. It's kind of like, I don't want to say common sense, but if you just think about it, it's like, oh yeah, that does make sense. So when you got too many trucks in a certain area, it's going to make the rates go down. So, well, then in that case, because all this stuff got to balance out. So like if you want to get good rates, then you want to go up in the Northeast, or go in the bad weather if you want to run in the bad weather, or et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of like, like say, for example, a certain area got hit with a bunch of snow, right? And I see this all the time when I look at the load board. Like, I'll look at the load board and I'll see like rates that are like really, really high, right? I can almost count on it. Like, especially this time of the year, it's going to be in some snow. Like a couple weeks ago, I seen a load coming out of Atlanta. The load was paying like $4,000 or something, $3,500. to go up into, the load was paying, it was like 3,800 or something like that. The load was going up into Massachusetts, somewhere in Massachusetts somewhere. And when I see rates like that, abnormally high rates like that going up in the Northeast, that just tells me it's some bad weather, or, it's just something going on. Like a month ago, when we was having a lot of that snow up there in the Northeast, I seen like a bunch of loads going up into North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland and stuff like that. Those loads were paying like double. Those loads were paying like $2,000. Usually those loads pay about $1,000, $1,200, something like that, to go up into Raleigh. When we had all that snow earlier in the year, earlier in January, after New Year's, we had like a bunch of snow in Atlanta and stuff like that. The rates were ridiculous. Like, I was looking at the board. So you can kind of predict, like stuff like that. So when we talk about spot market, that's just a different animal in its own, because that's what it is. Spot market is spot market. That's why they call it spot market. It's unpredictable. So, but sometimes you can predict it just with a little bit of common sense, So it's kind of, but to answer your question, like, yeah, I really don't know. Because I haven't looked at the freight market. I haven't looked at the freight market to know, like, when it's going to go up or not. But I haven't really seen any difference in the rates, to tell you the truth. If anything, I've seen the rates go up. I've seen the rates go up a little bit. I've been seeing an influx of rates. But, it's business. It is what it is. You just got to follow the flow of freight. That's all you got to do. Just follow the flow of freight. And you get on the board and you start seeing like a bunch of loads like going in a certain direction, paying a certain rate. You just follow that. You just follow those rates, But that is what it is. Like right now, I say the past couple weeks, I've been booking a lot of cotton loads. So I've just been running cotton loads. If the cotton loads are paying good, I'm going to run them. That's just what it is. So, that's just what it is. Like, if the cotton load's paying, I'm going to run it. So, ain't nothing else. All these other loads, they paying like shit. These cotton loads paying good, so I'm going to run them. They heavy, 40,000 pounds, but they paying. So, hey, don't bother me. Let me see. Spooby say, don't pay enough if I start. Oh, yeah, I already. Are you using low boy? Yeah, I use low boy. How long you stay this night? Do you smart? Me, I was there for 2 months. It paid 40 cents when I was starting out. And I'm up to 50 cents now, average. I'm looking to lease somewhere and start learning this side of the business. I'm in the process of moving my truck from Snyder to Loco. I'm between a van or reefer. It depends on which pays better. It's not as simple as like, okay, getting a van or a reefer. Because, the differences between a Snyder and a company like Travel Loco, or like a company like Mag or Roadrunner and stuff like that, we're owner operators. So we got to be very, very careful on where we put our money. So if you're thinking about buying a reefer, you better be damn sure is that something you really, really, really want to deal with for the next couple years. You can't just buy the reefer and just be like, oh, I don't want it no more. It's a commitment. When you're getting on this side of the business, getting a truck is a commitment. Getting a trailer is a commitment. Getting your authority is a commitment. It's saying you're going to be in this business for a long time. You ain't going to go nowhere. Like with a company driver, He can get in it for 3 months, 6 months, and be like, I don't want to do this more. And he can go and work at McDonald's. As an owner operator, you don't signed up for this thing, and you got to stick with it. You can't, you know. So my point is that, okay, van or reefer, it's a big decision. You just got to sit down and look at, you got to do your market research. You got to do your research and your due diligence to figure out which one is best for you. I mean, most people gonna say a reefer is better, but I mean, from my opinion, I don't think a reefer is that much better. You know, I don't think it's that much better. A reefer to me is just another thing to take care of, you know, because I've been on the low board, and like I mean, you might see some reefer rates playing very, very well, but I've seen drive-in loads paying very well. And I look at it and I'll be like, okay, on a week-to-week basis, how much more money can I expect to make above a drive-in than I would with a reefer? Would I make $500 more in a week, or will I make $2,000 more in a week? I'm trying to figure out, because this is business. This is business. I don't want to get a reefer because it feels good. I want to get a reefer because it's going to put more money in my pocket. So if I'm going to get a reefer, I need to sit down and figure out, okay, when I get a reefer, is it going to add that much more value to your business? So I need some kind of reason to justify investing into that reefer game. And with Traveloco, they have an age requirement on their equipment. You know, it's 10 years on the box, 7 years on the motor. So it's an investment when you come into Traveloco. To me, it's not worth it coming to Traveloco. Now, if you get your own authority, you can have any kind of reefer that you want. You know, you can find an old used reefer about 15 to 20,000. And you just got to be real selective on the type of customers that you pull for, because some customers have an age requirement on what type of freight. But, you know, like, you know, because like with those reefers, you got to keep them clean. You got to keep them well maintained. You got to make sure that engine is keeping cold. You got to make sure that it's meeting the requirements to pull the freight. If you want to pull ice cream, you got to make sure that thing do -10. You know, you got to make sure that thing do -10 or -20. If it can hold -10 or -20 for a long period of time, I mean, it's, you know, but, you know, the reefers cost money. You know, you can go get a used drive-in for about 10, 15,000. I mean, you know, you can get a used drive-in. I've seen used drive-ins for like 8, 9, you know. And see, and what I'm talking about is a return on investment. It's not necessarily should you get a reefer or whatnot. It's a matter of your return on investment. It's just like a rental property or any kind of other business. You want to have high returns with little bit of capital up front. If you have a small investment and you got like a lot of profit, I wouldn't care if it's reefer or drive-in. I want to know what my return on investment is. That's all I want to know. Which one gives me a better return investment? So, is it worth it for you to go invest $25,000 to $30,000 in a reefer when you're gonna have to get rid of it in a couple years? Or you can go get a used drive-in for about 10 and profit more money with a drive-in, because the drive-in is that much cheaper. Drive-in trailers are cheap. You know, drive-in trailers are cheap for the money that you make with them. You know what I'm saying? So you can go get you a used drive-in for about 5 or 10,000 and make 5,000 a week. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, so that's just my point. It's like, why go and get a reefer and make $500 more a week when you can go get a drive-in, a used drive-in, and profit more? You're going to profit more. You know what I'm saying? So With the reefer, you just got a bill, you know. That reefer just a bill. Yeah, you're gonna make more money, but you're gonna be putting it back in the box. You're gonna be putting it in a reefer, man. You're gonna be, you know, so that it's, you know, you want to look at your profit. You want to look at each one and see, okay, with a drive-in, I'm gonna make less money, but you're gonna profit more. It's just like when you run in your truck and you running the short loads, right? Running the short loads that they gross less, but you burning less fuel to make the money. So you're going to profit either the same amount of money or more running the longer loads because you're burning less fuel. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a matter. You just got to sit down and look at the ones and see, okay, with a reefer, I'll gross 6,000, but with a drive-in, I'll gross 5,000. But once you do all the expenses off each one, you might net more money with a drive-in. So that's kind of how I looked at it. I couldn't justify, you know, because I was looking at getting a note on a reefer, and I just didn't see that it was make sense. Because you got to turn those reefer trailers over more often than a drive-in. You can have a drive-in for 10 years. And it ain't really nothing to a drive-in. It's just a box with some wheels. That's it. And the only thing you have to maintain on a drive-in, you might have to repair a tire once a year. You might pick a bolt. You might catch a bolt in a tire, and you got to keep the axles greased. And that's about it. Make sure your door seals are good and keep it sweeped out and clean, and that's it. With a reefer, you got after just about every load, you got to go and get that damn thing washed out. You're looking at $40 a pop. Okay. Say you do 200 loads a year. 200 to 300 loads a year. That adds up. That adds up, man. That adds up. So, and then you got maintenance on the reefer. You gotta, you know, do a PM on the reefer. I mean, it's just a little engine, you know, it's just an engine with a compressor on it and stuff. But that's a whole nother animal of its own, you know. So if you don't have top quality equipment, your chances of getting turned away on a load is high. So you want to get something new. So like with me, I thought I'd just go ahead and just get a new drive-in, and my chances of getting turned down for a load is slim to none. So I talked to guys with older drive-ins, you know, they get turned away sometimes. So it, you know, I haven't got turned away out of no load. Wait a minute, I take that back. I have been turned away on a load because the trailer that I have is not a plate trailer. So I showed up to a place to pick up a load, and they require a plate trailer, a dual plate trailer, where the walls, they got to be 102 inches, and the trailer that I have is 101 inches. So it's got that it's got some kind of paneling in the trailer. So it's a composite wall trailer, which I think is a better trailer. But you know, some shippers, they require a plate trailer, just that little bit of room, because you got like pallets, certain types of freight, they need all that room. Is that 1 inch is a lot. So that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, man. My opinion. Exclamation thoughts say Big Orange do orientation. Yeah, they do orientation about 3 to 4 days. If you don't get through that orientation, you ain't doing nothing. If you don't get through that computer training that they got, if you don't pass your driving test, if you don't pass your physical, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't driving nowhere. It's 3 days. Your orientation at Travel Loco consists of a phone call with Eddie and Eric, and that's about it. pretty much maybe a 10, 15, 20-minute conversation with Eric and Eddie on the phone, and that's about it. And there's no quote unquote orientation. I mean, it's your orientation, but Eric and Eddie, they're gonna run down all the stuff going on with the company. They're gonna be like, okay, you do this, you do this, and you're supposed to do this and do that, and you meet your fleet manager, and not your fleet manager, but your dispatcher, and that's it. And you have 5 minutes with your your dispatcher, and you go make some money. So as soon as Eddie can hire you and give you the green light, you could be running freight that same day. As soon as you can go down there and do your PP test, and you can be running freight the same day. So Jarvis Campbell, I'm looking to get my own authority after being messed over by leasing my truck with the bad company. The risk. What do you think about 72% of gross? I'm sending a few surcharges. Pick off any low board. It just depends, because all these companies got these numbers games with these percentages. 72%. We're paying 90% and all of that, but it's just a numbers game, man. So for that 72%, what are they doing for you? You know what I mean? Are they giving you plates? Are there any trailer fees, Qualcomm fees, payroll fees? If the fees, $22.90 fees, you can go on and on. If the fees, and if you paying for everything, insurance, if the plates, everything, 72%, that is not enough. But if the carrier takes care of the plates, the insurance, IFTA, and all of that, 72% just might be worth it. Because when you book, if you book a load off a load board, that's $1,000. You're only getting $720 of it. And then you're going to have to pay for your plates and all that. That just ain't enough money. So it just depends. You got to sit down and get a piece of paper and, just write all this stuff down, how much it's going to cost, and see what's going on there. If you got to pay for everything, you need to be getting like 90% of the gross rate, because then, that way so all that stuff makes sense for you to get that rate, for you to pay for all that stuff, Like, for example, Landstar is a classic example. A lot of guys like to compare Landstar, Traveloka, Snyder, Great Wide, Roadrunner, etc. When all these companies are generally the same, it's just on how generally all these companies are the same. It's just how they structure their pay package. For example, Snyder is 65%. But for that 65%, you're not paying for a trailer. You don't pay for Qualcomm. You're not paying the full freight on insurance. You just paying bobtail. You're not paying for, it's a lot of things you're not paying for that 65. So that 65 could be, for 65%, which is not really 65, it's more like 50%, but that's another conversation. For 65%, you could be, your net settlement could be the same as the settlement at Traveloka, or net settlement could be the same settlement at somewhere else, For example, with Landstar, when you get a load through a Landstar agent, I've never been at Landstar, but I just know guys who've been there at Landstar, and they tell me how things go. So at Landstar, it's like, 65%, 70%, whatever the rate is. At Landstar, when you book a load through a broker or agent, you're getting 65% or 72%, whatever the rate is, of a high rate. For example, the rate would be like $4 a mile. Say if it's a load that's paying $4,000, you're getting 65% of $4,000. Those agents are getting those loads from shippers and whatnot. So when we talk about that, you got to look at what the net settlement is. And once you put all the net settlement next to each other, y'all pretty much equal about the same within like a couple $100 of each other. You know what I'm saying? So, like for example, when I book a load off a board or something like that, the broker already took the money off the top. Okay, he already took the 20-30% off the top. So when I get a load at $2 a mile, all the profit has been skimmed off. But like when you go through like a Snyder, or you go through like a Landstar or some other place, they're getting the load for top dollar at $4 a mile, $3.50 a mile, and then they take their 65%. See, and just like with Snyder, they're getting the loads from Procter & Gamble and whatnot. They're doing 65% of that, and then they give it to you. So you gotta understand what's going on. So a lot of times people get caught up in these numbers and these percentages. You need to look at the bottom net settlement. Okay, what you gonna take home. And pretty much if you line up a bunch of guys in a room and you have them all put their settlements on the table and see what they're netting and taking home, we probably all be about the same within a couple $100 of each other. So that, after being in this business about, 10 years, that, that's until you get your own authority and start getting direct shippers, you're not really doing much. You're not really doing any more better. So, that's just the game, man. That's what it is. Let's see. If you piss off Snyder on the choice board, loads start canceling on you, and now they doing safety warnings on speed, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I said before, Snyder, they really don't have no business hiring quote unquote contractors. They really have no business doing that. The IC program is basically, and what I came to conclusion with the IC program, they're basically there to sell trucks. That's all it is. It's just another revenue stream for them to sell trucks and double broker the loads. They're not there for the contractor. Okay? They're not there for that. Like if you was to go to like a Road Runner or a Traveloco, a Great Wide, or a MAG or something like that hires owner operator only companies. These companies, or Mercer, all these companies are set up to service the owner operator. Okay, a company like a Swift, a Snyder, they're only set up their business model is to push off the liability of equipment off onto another person so they can take the tax write-off. See what I'm saying? So that's what the mega carriers do when they're leasing these trucks. They're shifting the tax liability and the responsibility of the equipment onto the owner operator. So, but see, companies like Traveloco, Mercer, and stuff like that, they're there as a service provider to service the owner operator. So like, for example, my dispatcher, he doesn't tell me what to do. We're a team. He makes money when I make money. So we're a team. Like at the end of the day, they're about revenue. We about to get this revenue. You just got to get this revenue, you just got to get this revenue, man. Like that's all he cares about. Get this revenue, Like he don't care about that log book and da-da-da-da-da. That's your business. I got a $2,500 load over here. You want it? You want to run it? That's all he cares about. If you running illegal, hey, that's your business. So, see, that's the difference. He's there to service me. He's providing a service to me. He's my back end support. So, like, when you call in to these, like a Snyder, you got somebody that's like pointing the finger, and they're like kind of like telling you what to do. They're not there for you. Okay, they don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a different way to look at things. You know what I'm saying? So it takes some time to open your eyes up and see the bigger picture and see what's going on. But these mega carriers, they're there just to sell trucks and shift the liability onto the driver. That's what they're there for. They're not there to help guys grow a business. They say that when you go on the Snyder Finance website, we're here to help you grow your business. You can grow your business. No, they're not. Because if they was, they wouldn't have these high truck notes. They wouldn't. These truck notes shouldn't be no more than maybe $600 a week. And these should be truck notes that are notes that are, reasonable truck notes that guys can pay off in a reasonable amount of time. After about 3 years of truck payments, they should just be giving guys the title to these trucks. But they don't. They try to find a way to keep these guys to lease these trucks as long as they can and have as much control over them as they can. So that's just the bottom line about the whole thing. It's not set up for guys to have control and do what they want to do and voice their opinion. And, because it's like we running a business just like they're running a business. Why can't I have an opinion and why can't I bring some insight to the table and have some kind of mutual respect? There isn't no respect. When you call in your ICA at Snyder, he's the boss. He tells you what to do, and he's got the last word. If you don't like it, well, I'm going to terminate your contract. That's their only ploy. When I was on the phone with my ICA and I told him I wanted to cancel my contract, I knew he didn't care. He act like he cared, but he ain't care. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they act like they care, but they don't. Because he kind of stammered on the phone a little bit. He was like, "Oh, why are you leaving?" I was like, "Oh, I found a better opportunity at another carrier." And I just hung up the phone. A couple minutes later, I got an email saying that my contract was terminated. So it's like, yeah. So all you guys that watch my videos that's thinking about leaving Snyder, you know what I'm talking about. It's a certain kind of feeling that you get. It's just a certain kind of feeling that you get. Jarvis says, you have dry van or reefer. I got a dry van, man. Chris, is there good money with it? Yeah, I think so. I think it's good. I think it's decent money in dry van. When we talking about total cost of operation, because it's not necessarily the money that's in the sector, like I said a while ago. It's about learning how to keep your money. You know what I'm saying? Because these trucks out here, you grossing $5,000 a week and you got low expenses, you making some money. You making some money. You got your truck and trailer paid off, making $5,000 a week. All you got is fuel and insurance. You making some money, man. That's $20,000 a month. That's $20,000 a month. And you spending about $4,000 a month in fuel. You spending $1,000 a month in insurance. I mean, $6,000 a month. If I'm 50% wrong, you taking home $10,000. $10,000 a month. That's pretty good. So, you can go get a reefer and spend, $1,000 a month on a reefer trailer. But, is that reefer trailer gonna bring you that much more money a month. So, Houston to Louisiana. Yeah, Houston to Louisiana, those loads pay pretty good. They're consistent. They're plentiful. That lane is heavily saturated, but it's a decent lane. I see a lot of loads when I was at Snyder and when I'm over here looking at the DAC board and different various load boards. That Houston, Dallas area coming, like once you cross, it's basically like from I-55 back to Dallas. That lane is like, it's a good lane to run back and forth. Once you cross over I-55, the rates just drop. Okay. So it's just a spooky area. It's just a spooky area. That area is kind of funny, And the same way when you go west. So like from Dallas, I would say out to, I don't know, past like, once you get out to like, further west, there's a place. It's not a solid line, but if you've been looking at freight long enough, all of you guys have been looking at freight long enough, you know what I'm talking about. The freight rates drop off, and then when you try to come back, the rates don't pay nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once you stay like between I-55 and like I-35, it's a good lane to run back and forth. Run I-20, come down to 10, come down 35, then cut cross, then go up Louisiana. You can just do a square, and it's a good area. You can go down to Houston. It's a good area to run. If I did live in that area, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting my own insurance ready and get my own insurance already, have my LLC. Pretty. I'm lying. Yeah, I'm always lying. Finally, here come a troll. Tommy Guns. Hey man, I ain't seen you in a long time. Where you been, man? I remember when I first started doing YouTube videos, you used to come on my channel talking stuff. It's been a long time, man. It was you and another guy. This is back when me and B Smooth was getting into it. Well, actually, before B Smooth, you and what's that other guy? He always boasting about talking about he pay cash for his truck and trailers, and he don't do fuel cars. He pay cash for fuel and all of this. His truck paid for and all of that and all this foolishness. Fofo broke. Okay, yeah, I'm broke. 2,500 a week as an owner operator. Travel broke. Yeah, we all gotta start somewhere, man. In order, like, and like, I'm gonna address something here real quick. I'm gonna make a point. It's just like, okay, just say if I was broke, right? Just say if I was broke. Well, it's like, okay, if you're broke, well, isn't that like a beginning to something? Like if you're broke, you got to start. You don't start not broke. You know what I mean? It's because if you started with $1 million in the bank, then it's like, I mean, like it's like people just, sometimes people just be saying stupid stuff and they don't even know what the hell they be saying. That's like a homeless person. It's like if you're homeless, right? Well, I guess the next step is to not be homeless. Go get a job. You get a job making $100 a week. Then the next job will be making $200 a week. Then you get a raise making $300 a week. Then you get another raise making $400 a week. And before you know it, you're making $1,500 a week. Okay? I don't need you to tell me that $2,500 a week is low. I know that. But this is where I am. I just started this owner operator situation. You know what I'm saying? So I've been a company driver for a long time, and like, I'm mad at myself for that. I'm really mad at myself for that, because I felt like, man, I should have got a truck and trailer a long time ago. If I would have got a truck and trailer long time ago, man, I would have had 10 paid for trucks by now. But this is where I am, and I have to start. We all got to start somewhere. You know, I wasn't born with a bunch of money. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. So I work for everything I got. So nobody ain't give me nothing. So I know that, because when you sit down and look at the scope of business, right, you putting up all this risk to do something, $2,500 a week, it's not a lot of money, because it's not. And I know that. I don't need you to tell me that, you know, I'm a math nerd myself, because when you start crunching these numbers, it's like, it's just not enough money to go around. You know what I mean? It's like you making $2,500 a week. When you put it next to all the risk that you putting up, it's just not enough. You don't make enough money. You got to be making $5,000 a week for it to make sense. I mean, you need to be taking home $5,000 a week for it to make sense. And even still, it still don't make sense. But that's still not going to scare me to try. You know, I'm going to try, you know? So it's like, you know, for somebody to tell me, oh, 25, I know that, man. I'm not stupid. I know that. But what you telling me is like, okay, since that's what I'm doing right now, I should never, ever try. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I was to listen to that, I would never try. I wouldn't even be here. I would just, you know, just give up and just give it all back and just go die in a hole somewhere. No, I'm not going to do that, man. I'm going to get out here and try. So I'm trying. And I'm trying to get to $3,500 a week, $4,000 a week. And that's the steps I'm trying to take, and to get to the next step to get to my goals. You know what I'm saying? So it's just common sense, man. It's just like, I mean, like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I was, man, this is crazy, man. Like 10, 11 years ago, I'm thinking like when I was in truck driving school, man, it's crazy. It's like, I'm just thinking, man, like, wow, you know, like how far I came, you know, it's just, and then, I mean, one of these days, man, I'll have a fleet of 10, 15, 20 trucks. You know what I'm saying? So we all got to start somewhere. We all got to start somewhere. So, I mean, if I'm broke now, okay, I'm broke, but that don't mean I'm going to be broke forever, right? You know, you go get you a truck. You go get you a truck, and, you know, you go and get you a truck and you pay it off, right? You go and get you a trailer. You have to work through that situation so you can pay your trailer off. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go through the situation where you pay your truck off. It ain't going to be like that forever. But according to you, I guess you supposed to just soon as you born, you supposed to just know everything. You supposed to be smart. You supposed to just be intelligent. You supposed to know everything about the world. And you supposed to just have $1 million in your pocket, and you supposed to just know everything. Nah, man, that's what life is about, man. That's what it is, man. Like folk act like when they say something, they saying something. Like, you ain't saying nothing. Like, it's like back when I was doing my videos, like I fixed the radiator on the truck. I fixed the coolant reservoir, and I replaced some filters on the truck. Like, I ain't no damn mechanic, but I fixed it. You know what I mean? I didn't go to school to work on no truck. But I've been fixing on stuff since I was like 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't that hard. So, you know. But yeah, man, this video going on 1 hour and 20 minutes, man. I'm about to get off of here. How many hours I sleep? Net 25.3 that has been published in the business hours, at least general phrases, the average. No, don't respond to him. He's just being an a-hole. That's all. I mean, cause it's just like somebody like that. They gonna act like somebody like that. For example, they gonna act like, right, if it's like, you know what I'm trying to say, man. It's like, okay, somebody like that, they gonna act like they never like put time into something and trying to work. Like they never worked on reaching a goal or something like that. It's just like, okay, you started at 0 and you want to get to 100. Well, you got to go through you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? You just got to go through the paces, man, and put your time in. You know? Like I said before, 2019, I'm going to have this truck paid for. Then I'll be making more money then, right? That's the point. All that sweat and all that hard work I put in to get to that point where I paid the damn truck off. That's what it's for. You know? And, you know, guys, y'all be, you know, some guys just retarded. You know, some guys are just, you know, oh, you broke. It's like when I started at Snyder, I had $5,000 in my checking account. Now in my checking account, I got way more money than that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and since then, I bought a couple rental properties. I mean, I've added a lot to my portfolio. I bought a trailer. I got this truck. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I don't know. Some people you really can't. You know, they only see what they see, and they just assume that, okay, you know, they just only see what they want to see, and they just want to make stupid comments, you know. Great Wives, another good lease. I'm just scrolling. I live in Dallas. I pay $465 a month. Great Dane. Yeah, that ain't bad, man. $465 a month. That's false. You can use a reefer over a decade. Tommy Guns, you don't know what you're talking about, man. You don't know a reefer. Stop talking about stuff you have clues as dude. Tommy Guns, man, you don't know what you're talking about, man. You taking things way out of context and think I'm talking about the whole trucking industry. I'm talking about Travel Loco. Oh, Jesus. God. Tommy Guns, come on, man. Stop it. Like, it's like you taking things out of context. Look, Travel Loco has an age requirement on their equipment. You can't have stuff more than 10 years old when you come over to Travel Loco. If it's more than 10 years old, They require you to have an inspection on your trailer. If you got a trailer that's over 10 years old, you got to have an inspection on it. I think every 90 days. Less than 10 years old, you can get by with an annual inspection. If you buy your own reefer trailer and you bring it into Travel Loco, it's 7 years on the motor, 10 years on the box. That's their requirement. They made a change since then, but if you talking about coming to Travel Loco, that's the rules. Now, if you get your own authority, like I just said, you have to discuss that with the broker. Now, if the broker says, hey, man, what's the age of your reefer? This customer requires blah, 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 blah. You deal with that broker directly because you got your own authority. You can deal with whatever broker you want to deal with. So if that customer or that shipper has a requirement of equipment, it ain't a damn thing you can do about it, man. It ain't me. It ain't nothing you or anybody can say. If that shipper says your reefer trailer has to be a 2012 or better, you ain't pulling the freight. So I know two guys who got some raggedy reefers. They do fine. But if you coming over to Travel Loco, you gotta have a 2012 or 2013 or better. Don't take stuff out of context and say that, oh, you lying when that ain't even what I'm talking about. If that's what I'm talking about, of course I'll be lying, because that ain't even what I'm talking about. Man, like, retarded. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get off these videos because some people just stupid. It's like, oh my God. You can't sit up here and tell me if you was to call up a Transcold Storage, and Transcold Storage, they'll be like, hey, whatever the age requirement on a reefer trailer, depending on what the broker and what the shipper say. You're not going to sit here and tell me that they don't have an age requirement on a reefer. You can't come up in there with a 1995 reefer trailer, think you're going to pull their freight. They're going to turn you away, man. Come on. And like a lot of times you can get lucky. Now, if you got your own authority and you dealing with brokers directly, you can get by with an older reefer trailer. You can get by. But why do that, man? You opening yourself up to more inspections. You opening yourself up to load cancellations. Not getting paid on TONUs. It's just a lot of things. Like I just don't want to mess with it. So like I got a brand new 2018 dry van. I don't have to worry about that stuff. I can pull just about 90-80% of the freight out here and I won't have no problem. You get you a reefer trailer, it's like you 50-50. You treading on ice. You get your an old 2008 reefer trailer, you treading on thin ice. Cause it's like you pull up in there to that shipper, they look at the trailer, they look at the VIN plate, they're like, this trailer is 11 years old. You can't pull this freight. You know what I mean? Now you gotta go back on the load board and find another load. Come on, man. Cut the shit. Like if a shipper has got an age requirement on the freight, that's what it is. A lot of shippers are. They're real picky on the freight. Some shippers, they're not real picky on the type of equipment that you bring in. A lot of customers out here, they're not. They really don't care. As long as that trailer can keep -10 or -10 or -15, you're fine. Sometimes if it can hold 0, you're fine. Like if you pulling, because like if you can get by pulling 35-degree freight, 20-degree freight, 15-degree freight, you can get by. But when it comes down to like real specific customers, they got an age requirement on the type of type of equipment that they bring it in there. You can't sit up here and tell me that these shippers don't have age requirements. So if you telling me as a one-man business that I'm gonna invest $20,000-$30,000 in a trailer that I can pull maybe only 65% of the freight out here, that's just not a good return on investment. That's just not a good return on investment for me. If I'm gonna drop that kind of money and be paying a note on it, I want high chances of getting freight. Okay? So that's just my opinion, man. I'm not gonna tell somebody, oh yeah, man, go and get you a 2002 Great Dane and see what happens. No, man, I'm not gonna tell nobody to do that. Because you're gonna run that trailer for about 3-6 months and you're gonna be giving it away. You're gonna be giving it away. Because you can't pull no freight with it. Okay? You're not gonna tell me some bullshit, man. Ain't nobody lying. I'm telling the truth. When you coming over to Traveloka, that's what the rules are. Okay? That's what the rules are. So if you don't believe me, hey, call Traveloka and see what Eddie tell you. See what Eddie tell you. Let me see. They need to pay 100%. Appreciate it. Great videos. That's why them drivers broke. Road runner. Something wrong with this dude. This dude, Tommy Guns, something wrong with him. Something wrong with him. I think you smart, brave man. I also think you should give trolls your energy. Well, it's not even that. It's not necessarily giving them the energy. It's just like, guys, it's just like, you know how like when you talking to somebody and they just like to pick a fight just to pick a fight? You know what I mean? It's just like, you could be saying something good, but they want to pick a fight just to be picking the fight. Like they disagree with everything you say. Like you can say the sky is blue, right? And they'll be like, no, man, the sky is purple. It's like sometimes folk, they just, I don't know. They wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you know? Go get you some sleep, Fofo. I enjoy your videos. Yeah, I'm about to get off here in a minute because, you know, I just get carried away running my mouth in these videos, man. Fofo, you think a person can gross $6K a week and be home on the weekend? Yeah. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. Shoot. I mean, it ain't easy because, you know, it's some work, but yeah. I gross $6K a week sometimes. You know, 5,500, you know. Something like that. Something like that. I know some of y'all don't believe me. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring up my settlement. Let's see. And y'all know I be home. I'm the weekend king around here. Let's see, carry out. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can bring up a settlement. Let me see if I can bring up a settlement. Let me see. This week's settlement, it ain't quite 6K. It ain't quite 6K. It's only 5,200. 5,200. Yeah, it's only 5,200 this week. Hold on, let me see. See there at the top, 5,200. 5,200. All right. Yeah, that's this week's settlement. What's today? Yeah, it's Wednesday. Okay, yeah, this settlement is gonna be paid this Thursday. So let me see if I can find a settlement from last week. So that settlement last week I did 5,600. 5,600 last week. 5,600. See them 50. It's not quite 6K, but you know. I mean, if I didn't go home, I could probably do maybe 7K, probably. 7. And here's deductions. And that's some fuel and some other deductions. See there, let's see, wait a minute. They charge you for the ELD. They charge, that's the insurance, the trip pack. Let's see what else. Let me see what y'all talking about. Oh, now he talking junk now. Let's see. Oh no, he just talking junk. He just got a rotten spirit. Some people just need Jesus. That's all I can say. He just got a rotten spirit. Let's see. Let's see. The week before that, let's see. The week before that, I did. The week before that, I did 4,200. I did 4,200 the week before that. Let me see. And the week before that, I did 4,400. And yeah, man, I be home every weekend. Y'all know I be home every weekend, man. Be home every weekend. Let me see what y'all talking about. Oh yeah, I know how to block people. You just hit the little. Hold on. Maybe I don't know how to block people. Hold on. Please block him. If he does, I'll come back with the new page. But yeah, you know, I'm trying to see if I can, you know, have a you know, $7,000 or $8,000 week, you know. But hey, man, I'm about to get off of here, man. He needs MS. Just click on the dots. Oh yeah, I figured it out. Yeah, but no, I ain't gonna block him, man. It's I'm missing out on all this I'm missing on all this entertainment. Y'all stop hating. Some people, man, just don't have nothing else to do. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all stopping by, man. Sit up here and listen to me run my mouth. You know. But hey, man, I appreciate y'all watching my videos, man. Hey, I'll see y'all next time.